Go.
Okay. So this is
A show.
a show.
How are we going to spell that? S-H-O-R-T.
I think we're going to just have to get to
Shout.
shorts. Anyways,
Shout.
we're making chili oil.
Or as Chad says, shouty. Shouty bell. Go ahead. We're going to make chili oil.
Yep.
I love chili oil.
We're going to do a very basic on the stove chili oil.
Oh, man.
Mix everything together. You can play with this recipe forever. Different spices, different peppers, different oils and things that you want to do. But this is a real basic one. So we take a light type of oil. You can use vegetable oil. We're using grapeseed oil. Sometimes you can use peanut oil.
What about sesame oil?
Sure. As long as it's got
that's going to give it a lot of flavor.
We're not frying this. So you don't have to be super concerned about heat, but it is going to boil some. So you can't use, I wouldn't use olive oil.
Okay.
You know, something like that. It's got to be able to sit in the pan for a while and just be hot, but not be smoky.
Okay. And you're not concerned necessarily that the flavor of the oil is going to influence.
Not necessarily, but it will. You know it will some. That's
well, like this is basically has no flavor at all, so.
Right.
Okay.
That's why this is the basic one.
Got it.
Okay. So I'm using a cup because I don't want to store a ton of this. Cup and a half, 3 cups. If you're using a whole bunch of ingredients, up your oil. So we're going to put this into a pan. You want a few inches because this is going to bubble. So if you start adding oil, get a bigger or a deeper pan.
Okay, so that's like half an inch. Oh, that's like...
It's 1.5 inches.
No, it is not.
It's enough.
Okay.
So we're using star anise,
That smells so
which I think smells like licorice.
Well,
like
it does
fennel
because that's what
or-
anise is.
Yeah,
Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
You sure?
But this is the
Look
star
how pretty
kind.
they are.
I know,
I
it's beautiful.
love them.
So we're using that. We're going to have 3 bay leaves that we're going to set inside of here.
Cool.
I'm going to have some cinnamon.
So if you had a cinnamon stick, you'd put that in?
If I had a cinnamon stick. Now we are going to filter this. So we're just going to use a more fine filter, or because we're using powder things. Yeah.
Okay.
We could use a cheesecloth, but that pulls a lot of it out, like a cloth filter.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to use a super fine mesh filter.
Okay.
But if you use all big ingredients, you can use a larger filter.
Okay.
The chili doesn't actually go in yet.
Oh.
We are going to condense our oil. We're going to let all of the aromatic ingredients be in the oil as it's cooking. And then once it's heated up and it's sat for a while and gotten all those flavors, we're going to strain it over the chilies.
Oh, okay.
Because those stay in the jar.
Yeah.
This stuff doesn't.
So is this going to be like that Mama Fuko crunchy red chili sauce stuff?
Something like that.
Something like that?
Yeah, this will be a little bit thicker because of the oil we use.
Okay.
Or it'll be thick enough that, you'll be able to mix it in and do some of that. And then I put in a garlic. You can use ginger or something as your last ingredient. We have garlic.
Yeah.
If we had a ginger root, I'd slice some of that in there. But this is how you get it ready, and then we're just going to take it and let it simmer. So let's get that out of the way.
You don't need to stir it around to get the cinnamon in there?
We will.
Okay.
We will. I just wanted to turn the heat on.
Okay. Cool. What do you put chili oil on?
Me personally?
Yeah.
About everything. Rice.
Yeah.
I like
pasta.
it mixed
I like
in.
it on pasta.
Mm-hmm. And so we really are about to have a pretty serious cut because this just sits here and simmers. Now, things to watch, and we'll bring some of this in. We're not frying it, but it has to be hot enough that you start to see bubbles on your solid ingredients. So we don't want a lot of splash, and that's why the depth of the pan is somewhat relevant. But you should be able to see the anise get little bubbles around the edge.
Okay, but you use a skillet instead of a pot.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you've got more surface area in there than you would in a pot because it'd be thicker, or not thicker, but you know what I mean.
All of the red color is going to come from that later, right? Because the cinnamon, we're going to try to filter out some of that. That's the biggest color change right now.
So can you use this pretty much right after you've made it, or does it have to sit?
You need to cool it before you store it, but by the time it's sat in the chili, you're good.
Oh.
Yeah, it's going to absorb there is going to be about 30 minutes of it just sitting on this before we actually store it.
Okay.
So
do you need a bigger thing to put that in, to pour that on, to let it sit in?
we will use just any heat tolerant bowl because it's coming out hot.
Well,
We're
we
gonna
can use this.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's take a brief second while that's warming up.
Okay.
Chilies, actual chili flakes. So I bought chili de arbo, but it's a whole chili that we put in the food processor and we made the flakes. And so we end up with the seeds and some of that.
And you have the skin and everything in there.
Skin and
it's just all
everything. I took
chopped
the
up.
stems out, but skin and seeds. So it sounds like my heat's a little high.
Okay.
But this is, if we can cut to this camera, this is what we want. Little bubbles
Oh, good. Okay.
forming, and that will get the flavors out of these things without burning or cooking them. So if we have, you got your candy thermometer?
Yeah.
We are aiming for around 200 degrees. But again, as long as your oil is not popping out of the pan, but it's still bubbling around the ingredients, that's
Some more.
the goal.
Hold on. Where is my... I don't know where it is.
That's okay. If you've got a thermometer, you're aiming for 200 degrees.
Oh, here. It got in here. Okay, and you want it at what'd you say?
200? Oh. We can go closer to 225. What's it at now?
Not that.
How fast does this thing move?
It's at 180. It's going pretty fast. It's almost a 200.
I had turned it down, so let's get...
Okay, wait. Okay, it's at 210.
Okay, so we're getting there. So we really
It's
are.
at just under 220.
Great.
It's at 220.
220 is all right. That's
Okay.
fine.
Whoa.
So we're going to let this go. The thing that we're going to watch for is for the color change. So we want our solid ingredients to brown a little. So the only place we're going to notice that, we want them to brown, not burn.
Got it.
And the bay leaf is really the only thing we'll notice. When the edges kind of start to cook some, then we're done. And you can let it go really for as long as you want. If you want to turn the temperature down some and really get the flavor out of this, then do it. Live it up.
You know, I didn't even know anything about chili oil until a couple of years ago. Like, I didn't know it was a thing you could buy at the supermarket.
Oh,
or-
really?
Uh-uh.
And they have it in restaurants.
Yeah, I know, but I never thought about it once I left an Asian restaurant.
Okay.
How long have you been eating chili oil?
In Asian restaurants for a
Right,
long
but
time.
at home?
Not at home a lot.
Okay.
Because I'll buy it and I'm the only one that wants it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because you have 3 children. They're not ready for that yet.
Yeah, ready for that.
And Cassie doesn't like hot stuff.
Nope.
But she loves you.
Oh, thanks, Mama. That's polite of you to say.
You are my son. Got to give you credit for something. Oh, did you talk about not using this?
Oh, you know what? We started to.
We started to. We didn't
We're
finish.
going to cut back to it.
Okay, because John can edit. He's the editor in charge.
All right, welcome back to the chili cut. So we are
Take a
using...
pause, and let's start that again.
So we're using chilies, not pepper, because this is a chili sauce. They are 2 different things. Peppers are berries, right?
Uh-huh.
And they are for flavor.
Yes.
Which sounds like a weird comparison because this stuff's super flavorful. And these are chilies. So it's the whole skin of the chili, the seeds inside. We cut the stems off. I used a food processor. And this is what we're left with.
And chilies are for heat.
Chilies are for
And they're
heat.
measured on the Scoville scale.
Yeah. Yeah. So pick your heat, and that's how you pick your chili.
Wow. I
You
wouldn't
could
go
use-
with the Carolina Reaper
Well, I personally
because
wouldn't.
you'd have to put it on as a dropper.
But if that's your thing,
Yeah.
that's what you're doing. You're
Okay.
you're creating chili flakes. Now you can also buy chili flakes.
But don't
But
don't
don't use
use crushed red pepper and
crushed
think
red
that you're
pepper.
using chili
Because
flakes.
you won't get what you want. You won't have the
They are
heat.
not the same.
Yeah.
No. Proceed.
All of our ingredients have now cooked. It's pretty well done over here. Everything has darkened, so we can probably get a little skillet shot. Making sure the oil is hot enough because when we move it over, we're going to pour it through the strainer over the chili flakes. And we should get a little bit of bubbling because there's still more cooking to be done.
Okay.
Our larger ingredients are coming out with the strainer, and our chili is going to be left in there.
All right. And this is a pretty thin grained strainer.
It's pretty good. We used...
Could be better.
Well, we didn't use the cinnamon stick.
Right.
So there's going to be some particulate that stays in there.
Okay. Yeah.
So we'll try it.
Okay.
Let's see what it does. I'm just heating it up enough that the oil is going to...
Okay.
It's not bubbling yet, right? So it's going to take
Yeah.
time for that heat to transfer in there. But since you're concerned about it...
Well, you didn't turn it off.
Oh my goodness. Mama?
Sona?
Throw your hot pad on the floor.
See that? Hot oil coming through.
Hot oil. So we'll take this, pour it through.
Yeah, look at that.
Yep. So that's going to
Cooking.
continue cooking our chilies. That's why the bowl that you're pouring into is important. Make sure it can handle
Yeah, because you don't want it to melt or break.
the heat. That's it. That's our,
And then you just let it cool.
yeah. You let it sit here, you let it cool. It's going to absorb the chili flavor into the oil. You can stir it around a
Should you
little
stir
to,
it? Yeah.
yeah, to get the stuff off the side.
Listen to it. What? It's all sticky.
So that's it. So we're going to let this sit a while.
Wow.
And once it's cooled down,
It really smells so
it
good.
smells incredible. It's a very unique flavor, but it smells good. I cannot wait to put this on food.
I know.
I know.
Yum.
So we'll do this, and
And that's how the chili things in there get crunchy.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
That's really cool.
Now we wait. So we're gonna stare at this for another 30 minutes to an hour.
Come back. We'll be mesmerized.
But this is basically it. You once you get to this point, let it sit, let it get back to room temperature, pour it in the jar you're gonna store it in,
Yeah.
and you're done.
Cool.
Right.
Okay.
Thanks.